Alright, so let's make a new game. So I'm going to go to Games here, hit Next, and I'm going to select Third Person here. I'm going to hit Next. And under Blueprints here, I'm going to go with a blueprint here instead of C++. I am going to start with starter content, and I'm going to go with the default Documents Unreal Projects, and I'm going to type it Learn. And I'm going to go ahead and create project. Now that the project is open, the way you play is just by clicking the play button. And I'm going to use my WASD keys, WASD to walk around, spacebar to jump. Now, the whole goal of these is to just kind of go through a little bit of the Unreal documentation to help explain that in detail, as well as introduce new concepts. So let's start off with just sort of understanding the level blueprint. So I'm going to go up here to Blueprints, click on this little arrow, and I'm going to click Open Level Blueprint. Now, you want to think of a level blueprint as the way of coding or scripting this particular level. So if you make another level outside of this, it will not like go into the next level. Your level blueprints do not carry over. So let's talk a little bit about how to reference this default actor here. So notice if I click on this, it'll take me to the third person character controller. Now if I right click in here, you can see it says create a reference to the third person character. So if I left click on that, you can see it gives me a get node. And what it's getting is the connection to this third person character. So within this, I can use my blueprints to essentially affect what's going on in this scene. I'm actually going to, I have a larger screen. I'm just going to sort of dock this off to the side. Maybe, well, here, I'll leave it over here for a second and just bring this down. I could dock it here, I guess, to this tabs or whatever, but I think it might be better to just sort of view it here. Now, another thing I'd like you to notice is there is something here. And I'm going to hold Control and just kind of scroll my wheel in. And if I hold Control and right click, I can pan. But this title here says Event Graph. So what does that mean? Well, there's certain events that happen in Unreal in this blueprint phase, and they sort of trigger events in the level. So for example, let's say when I press play, I just want to print out a simple text string, right? So I can right click here and I can write event begin play, and you can see here there's begin input touch, and here's begin play. This is an event that's predefined this by Unreal. This is a node, and what it's saying here is as this game starts, do something. So let's say we want to, I don't know, as we play, we just want to print the word hello to the screen, right? So simple enough. Really, our first blueprint is the hello world one, which is, if you come from a computer science world, kind of boring. But when I press play, you'll see up in the corner here, it flashed hello for a second. Let's do that again. Play, and then I'm going to look up, and I have that Shift F1 to mouse cursor. It's blocking it. But you could see up in the corner there that the word hello played. And so this affects the entirety of the level. Let's take a look at creating some other blueprints. Now let's say we wanted to have some sort of condition met, right? So they have other nodes. One in particular is called a branch, and it's going to check if something is true or false. So I'm going to just hold Alt and disconnect that node there, and I'm going to drag this off. I'm going to type the word branch, and the branch is based on some sort of Boolean condition, whether this is checked or unchecked. So let's say that we want to print, let's hit Control C, Control V, true if the event is true, and we want to print false if the condition is untrue. So we can connect these nodes like this. Let's kind of make this a little bit bigger and connect the node like this. So when I hit compile and save and I press play, you can see because this is checked on, we got a true printed to the screen. So do you want to kind of pay attention to up here? Maybe if I make this a little bit bigger, we won't get that coverage. Let's press play again. You can see true appeared. If I uncheck this and press play again, you'll see false appears. So this is a kind of a nice way to create this condition. Now, there is say we'd like to eventually trigger in our level, like check whether our character maybe walked across a cube or something, right? And what would we use for that? Well, there are certain variable types. One is called a Boolean. So I'm going to hit variable here, and I'm going to write is overlapped. And I can get these variables and use them in my code. So I'm going to hold Control and drag this out, and that lets me get it. If I hold Alt and drag this out, it lets me set it. And what that means is I can turn this on and off, and I can set the variable here. Well, let's go ahead and delete the set one for a second. Just use the get so we can get a little bit more comfortable with this. Now notice I can't really access the attributes of this yet. I have to actually compile it, and now you can see there is an is overlap toggle here. So if I grab this and I connect it here, notice that this condition is going to be based on whether this is on or off. So let's test this out to see how that works. I'm going to press play. It says false, and the reason for that is because this is unchecked. So I'm going to stop that. I'm going to check this back on, and I'm going to press play. You can see that that is set to true. And as mentioned before, this is affecting our entire level, right? The level blueprint here. And we are going to create more blueprints, more on a smaller level, like we'll be creating these individual blueprints that we'll place inside the level.